Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Calvin Tobin Show. I am your host, Calvin Tobin. Today we have a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. All right, we are 2 weeks into the 2023 MLB regular season, and right now the MLB has played a total of 13 games. And so far, we have seen 7 different teams have 8 or more wins, with 2 of those 7 teams having 9 or more wins, with the team having the most wins being the Tampa Bay Rays, as they are still undefeated at 12-0. But the division leaders in the MLB right now are the Tampa Bay Rays, the Minnesota Twins, and the Los Angeles Angels and the Texas Rangers are tied for first place in their division with a record of 7-5, and that's in the American League. In the National League, the division leaders are the Atlanta Braves, the Milwaukee Brewers, and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Out of all 30 MLB teams right now, there are 3 MLB teams that have had a 3-game winning streak or longer, with the Tampa Bay Rays having the longest one at 12 in a row. Then the Toronto Blue Jays and the Atlanta Braves are both on a 3-game winning streak right now. And out of all of what we have seen so far in the 2023 MLB regular season, there is one thing that has kept us baseball fans glued to our seat. And what is that? That is the success of the Arizona Diamondbacks, because they have an 8-5 record right now, being 1 game ahead of the LA Dodgers. And what the Arizona Diamondbacks have done this year so far is they haven't lost a series all year long. They've tied 2 and they have won 2, with their most recent series winner coming against the Milwaukee Brewers, winning that series 2-1. And the most interesting thing about the Diamondbacks' success and them leading the NL West is, in their division, they are the only team with a negative run differential at -6. And in yesterday's MLB 15-game slate, the average winner scored 6 runs per game, with the highest scoring game coming in the Boston Red Sox Tampa Bay Rays game, and that ended up being 16 total runs, with the Tampa Bay Rays coming out on top, beating them 9-7 to improve their record to 12-0. And the Tampa Bay Rays had one of their top prospects on the mound yesterday, and his name is Taj Bradley, and he proved why he is one of their top prospects, because he pitched 5 innings, allowed 3 runs, struck out 8 batters, while Wander Franco and the rest of the Rays lineup were running up the score, with their biggest lead coming on 2 different occasions of 5 runs, where it was 6-1 and then 8-3. And it wasn't until later in the game, in the 7th inning, where the Boston Red Sox cut that lead in half, thanks to a 3-run bomb by Rafael Devers to make the score 9-7, and that ended up being the final score anyway. With the success of the Tampa Bay Rays right now, they are on a historic level right now at the winning rate, because they are the 3rd team in MLB history to start off their season with a 12-game winning streak or longer. There are only 2 other teams in MLB history that started off better than them, and that was the 1987 Brewers and the 1982 Atlanta Braves, where they both started off 13-0 before they lost their first game. And the Rays couldn't be this good if it wasn't for them being first in nearly every statistical category there is for baseball. And the craziest part about their success is how much they're scoring. They're scoring 7.6 runs per game, and they have total 92 runs on the season, and they're 13 runs ahead of second place. And who's in second place is the LA Dodgers at 79 runs. And the only thing that the Tampa Bay Rays right now that they are not first in is the batting average, and the team that is the only team that's better than them is their division rival, the Toronto Blue Jays, and the Toronto Blue Jays are barely swinging better than them. But nobody's better than the Boston Bruins this year because they have been historically great. And right now, and tomorrow is the last day of the 2022-2023 MLB regular season, and the Boston Bruins have a chance to make their season even more historical because they are playing the Montreal Canadiens tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. They are definitely improving their record to 65, 12-5, and totaling their season points at 135 points because the Montreal Canadiens are one of the worst teams in the league this year, and they are playing horrible right now, losing 6 of their last 7 games, allowing 4 goals a game. And here's the thing, with the playoffs right now, the 2023 Stanley Cup playoffs are all set up, solidified, and good to go with the last 3 teams clinching the spots this week. And the very last team to clinch a playoff spot was the New York Islanders, and they ended up clinching at 93 points with a record of 42, 31, and 9. The other 2 teams that ended up clinching the last spots in the 2023 Stanley Cup playoffs were the Florida Panthers, where they clinched at 92 points, and the Winnipeg Jets clinched at 95 points. And based on having the last 2 days in the regular season, today and tomorrow, there are only 2 games on, so today is truly the last day because practically everybody is playing. But here's the thing, because of everybody practically playing today, there across 3 divisions, there have never been a closer race between 6 teams across those 3 divisions. And how close is this race? Well, let's start off in the Pacific Division. If the Edmonton Oilers win and the Las Vegas Golden Knights lose, they both finished first place in the Pacific Division with the same record. In the Central Division, the Colorado Avalanche has 2 games left to play, and if they win out, even if Dallas wins their last game of the season against the St. Louis Blues, if Colorado wins out, Colorado will win the Central Division. Then in the Metropolitan Division, between the New Jersey Devils and the Carolina Hurricanes, these guys are 1 point apart from each other, and the only way that these 2 could tie each other, having the same record to finish out the season, is they both have to lose, but New Jersey has to lose in overtime for it to work. And but that's most likely not going to happen because Carolina has to play Florida today, and New Jersey is playing Washington, and those games are most likely going to be dubbed by Carolina and New Jersey. But here's the thing. In the final week of the regular season, the stat lines are getting crazier and crazier because more and more people or players are just adding to the craziness of what we have already seen this season. And to start off is how many players have had 100 points on the season, and now there are 11 with the potential of 12, maybe 13 in the final 2 days of the regular season. And the most intriguing and exciting 100-point season is Erik Karlsson's 100-point season because he's a defenseman, and with him getting 100 points on the season, he is the first defenseman in 31 years to notch 100 points on the season. Then when it comes to the scoring part, David Pastrnak ended up getting a hat trick in a game, and he ended up getting his 60th goal of the season, becoming the 2nd player this year outside of Connor McDavid to reach 60 goals on the season. And now Connor McDavid and David Pastrnak are the first pair of players to score 60 goals in a season since the 1995-96 season, where Mario Lemieux and Jaromir Jagr did it. And along with that, Connor McDavid and David Pastrnak are also 2 of 4 players that have scored 50 goals this season. And there is 1 guy left who has a good chance to be the 5th player to score 50 goals in a season, because he is playing the Detroit Red Wings tonight, and his name is Braden Point, and he is 1 goal shy of getting 50, and they're there's a good chance that he could get it, but there might be a shot that he is resting tonight because of playoff time, and they're going to be playing Toronto in the first round. All right, that's the end of the Calvin Tobin Show. Please subscribe to my channel at Calvin Tobin Show so you don't miss out on any sports media. And please follow me on Instagram at Calvin Tobin Show so you don't miss out on any sports news whatsoever. And